Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a very interesting video here. I've been working on this 2006 Jeep Commander. The customer complaint is that he was driving the car and out of the sun, out of the blue, he started smelling like something burning. You think it was coming from the outside, but I kind of like narrow it down that it's actually inside the vehicle. But let me show you what I have done, and let me finish describing what the complaint is. So the door locks have stopped working. So the first thing that I did is definitely reading codes, and we have like I don't know, like 26 lost communication, driver module, passenger door module, etc. Right? So I went ahead and checked the junction black. Let me actually go back here. So this is the wire diagrams of the door locks. I have I'm using Identifix for this. This is the connectors on the junction black 3. The one has the signals that I'm going to be addressing, which is the door lock relay output on pin 36 and passenger doors unlock relay output, which is pin 35. So it's a light, actually no, sorry, 34. Passenger doors unlock relay output. I think that's the one, light green 10, light green, yeah. So these are the two that I'm actually showing as a shorted together. Which is at the end the issue. Like if you see we have a light green 10 and then a light green, light blue, going back to this order diagram, which is it's a little blurry, but that's the way it's on the factory one. So we have a light green, light blue, hopefully that's showing good, that supplies one signal, either power or ground, depending on the position of the relays. When the switches are not being pressed, both wires should be grounded. As soon as you push either one, lock or unlock, one of these wires will go to power, and then the motor will either lock or unlock. So we have a splice S313 on the light green, light blue that supplies the power. A signal to the to all the latches, including this C325, which is the lift gate. The only one on the light green 10 that doesn't have or doesn't use the same wire as a signal is the driver's side main uh, latch. But the rest uses the same thing. So if I go over a wire diagram, which I have here too as well, let me open this up a little more so we can see better. So this is the door latch on the driver's side door. As you can see, we have then a light green, dark green, and a light green, light blue. So the light green, light blue is on all the latches, and this light green, dark green is only on the driver door, which this one is not shorted, but this one it is. So it will only work in one position. So this is the relay, as you can see, it's in the left side of the dash, junction black. These relays are not serviceable. I already went and disconnect on the C3 connector on the junction block. I disconnect the light green, light blue, and the light green 10, which is pin 34 and pin 36. Those are the ones that are shorted together. So let me bring you to the car. So on the hopefully that's showing good too as well. So on the connector C3, which is we have, I think this is C1, the C2 is behind, and the C3 is this one. I will go back to the diagrams and show you how you can, or how you know that too. So I disconnect, as you can see, the light green 10 and the light green, light blue, and those two wires are shorted together. Nothing wrong with the door. The door motors for the door locks, everything is working. I already checked that. So the next thing that I did, I'm using this EC2000 from Power Probe in order to supply a signal. Let me see what I did with the receiver. So what this one does, I have an extension connected to the battery. Hopefully you guys don't hear much noise in In this video, I'm using a special microphone from, I think it's Blue Parrot, which so far is great. So again, going back to the job. So I connect the transmitter and immediately showing that we have a short to ground. I am in just one of the signals connected to the, or putting that signal from this transmitter into that. So what you got to do is you got to come up, turn this one on, get it close to the wire and lock it up. And this is going to, like, I know the wires are coming in here, so it's telling me to keep going. It's not here. You got to move a little quick because otherwise it will disconnect the signal, but I know it's here. Okay, we got it going, and it's still up there, so I got to go over to the other side. Sorry for the shaking. And then we got it right there, and that disappears. So it's there, and the water is coming just to make sure it's not under, because it has to come over to this door, which I got all the door connectors disconnected. So again, if I go there, you can see the light, and then it goes out. And how I know it's here, now let's go back to the computer. Let me turn this off. Believe me, I have done a lot of homework on this. So how I know the splices are there or everything. So we know that we have the S313 and the S314, but what are they? This is the great about Identifix. You got to know where to look for, but I have also bookmarked all the information that I was looking for. So as you can see, I'm in bookmarks. All you got to do is whenever you're using information, you come to here and then you set up your bookmark for the information. And it will be saved to that specific vehicle. So the S314 and the S313 are very close together here, right under the driver's side, rear and front seats, and then the wiring come under, as you can see, and then up, like that curve in the center, right where I was, and then to the other pillar to go, to the connector on that door. We have no signal of shortage. At least that's what the EC2000 is showing me on any of the doors, and it's just under that area. So again, the junction black, it needs a, just to describe a little bit of the system, because that junction black is going to need to be replaced. I think this is the best picture. Let's go a little smaller. So what we have in order for the door locks to work is either press a passenger side or driver side switch or the remote, and that's going to make the cluster send a signal for door unlock or door lock. So the cluster will send a ground signal to the relay. We have two relays inside the junction block. They're not serviceable again. And then we have that control signal coming on the pin 85 of the relay, either for the unlock or for the lock. I did check that signal and it's getting there. So on pin C2 33, sorry, connector C2 pin 33 and connector C2 pin 27, I do have that control. And I checked the fuse 7, which is right here, and it's not blowing. So we know as a fact that we have this power and we have the control side. I cannot check the actual internals of the relay because it's built in the board. I can hear them clicking. I don't have any power going to. So as the normal position on both of the relays, like you're not pressing any switches, that will be both connected to 87.8 on the relay, which goes to ground on G100. And the grounds are fine. But I have these two wires disconnected, the light green 10 and the light green light blue. again in connector C3, pins 36 and 34, and there is still is a short to ground, or most likely a short in between them that we already see with the EC2000. So this is pretty much how this system works. By these two wires being disconnected, I should be able to, when I, unlock or unlock the doors, to have power here at any moment, either, on the relay, let's say, on pin 36, when you press the door lock, you should have power here. I don't have that. And the other one, when you unlock on pin 34, you should have power when you unlock or you request to unlock. It's momentarily, remember, but it doesn't happen. So whatever happened on this, it kind of like damaged the junction block because it's not sending me that signal. I got a constant ground, which is the normal state of the relay. I can hear both relay clicking, but I got no power. So now the ball is on the customer because I need a little bit more of labor to remove that seat and find out the issue. Because this can be, just on the door locks, or it can be a problem, of shorter wires melted together and creating a further issue later on. So it's definitely something that I would really like to address. I have like close to 3 hours of diagnosis and testing because the first thing that I did, I went, checking all the signals in the junction block. I also disconnect, as I'm going to show you right now, all the connectors on the door jambs, you know, thinking that maybe one of the motors is shorted. I also disconnect the lift gate connector. I remove covers of the carpet and everything that you guys see in there. And I couldn't find any obvious reason. And that's when I remembered that I have this tool. Sometimes you have so many tools that it's hard to keep up with, like your brain. As during the day you get tired. So, but right now this is working very good. So hopefully this is going to help me find a short. Sometimes this works better in an open circuit than in a short circuit, but I'm happy with what I found. Try to turn this off. It's very noisy here in the shop, so guys, forgive me if it's trying to turn this off, but it's funny, when you want to use it, it turns off by itself. When you want to turn it off, it's hard. All right, guys, so to not make this too long, I'm going to wait, for the answer on the from the owner of the car and see if he wants to proceed or not. If not, I hope at least this help anyone on how to diagnose a problem on the door locks. I think that I described this system. This card is very specific, but again, the signals come from to the control of the relays from the cluster. Everything is there. Uh, just check the junction block. It's easy to get to it. Well, kind of. All right, guys. So let me stop the video here and see what else we're gonna have or not on this vehicle. Door lock situation and the smell that the customer was thinking that was coming from the outside. And I was very stubborn to tell him that I don't have any issues outside. The problem is inside the car. So I use, as you will see on part one, I use the EC2000 from Power Probe. Great tool, and it got me exactly to the spot. Let me show you what I found. All right, so after like an hour and a half of removing this beautiful setup seat from Jeep, so you have to remove 4 bolts on the front, 2 on each side, and then 4 more on the back. The center doesn't lift up. You can lift the side seats, but not the center. And then you have to remove this plastic tray that has a module on the other side. I don't know, not even know what the module is for, but that's not a problem here. As you can see, the car is very clean. So I lift the carpet, and the first thing that I notice is, look at that. That is burnt. So this carpet was in fire. That was the smell that he had. And he's lucky that the junction block got destroyed because otherwise the car would have caught on fire and probably killed him. And this is the situation with the wiring right here. So this is our problem. And as you can see, it's not just the door locks so far. Right now it's just giving a problem with the door locks, but this is major. So I have to peel this more. I'm gonna repair this wiring, and then I had the junction block from Jeep already. Sorry, I haven't even opened it yet, but this is the new part. Um, so I'm going to work on and repair that wiring and set everything back and hopefully get this car running again today. All right, guys, let me keep going. Okay, guys. So what I ended up doing, I had to separate wire by wire because they were, melted together because of the heat, on the damage. So these are the wires that are good, and these are all the wires that are exposed. So my plan is to do is just cut wires, resolder, put, heat shrink tubing on it. This has a special epoxy or sealant because it's a marine type of heat shrink, and I really like it. I got these ones from Harbor Freight. They work very good. So I have the butane from Power Probe. I got the lead-free solder, and obviously tape, and I have liquid tape in case I need it, but not for here, I think. So looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 wires that got melted together. Again, this is a very lucky shot from a person that the car didn't cut on fire. All right, so I'm not going to show the repair as far as doing it, but I will show you the before and after as I'm doing now. Okay, so let me keep going. Okay, guys, all the wiring is repaired. So as you can see, I pretty much cut the wire, resolder, and put a heat shrink on it. Everything is nice and tight. I'm right now going to, tape all the loom very strong, very, like a lot of times, whatever happens in here doesn't happen again, hopefully. I'm going to tell also to be careful on, smashing boxes or so on, especially right here. This is where you stand up as a passenger. Maybe he put, heavy boxes with, like, I don't know, books or whatever. So, but this is done. So let me, like I said, tape it up and put the junction block and try to see if it's everything working good. Okay, I taped the wire in, and I also found this conduit that I have, saved for, for something else. And I'm going to put them in here so it's extra protected. So now the harness is taped around and on a conduit. So hopefully this will not happen again on this, or at least not on this place. All right, so I'm now going to put the junction block and see how it goes.